Ever take a second to think about how that shirt you're wearing, the one, how it actually came to be?
Interesting question.
I'm talking about the journey from like raw materials to the factory, the whole global supply chain.
Right, right. Yeah. It's a process we don't often think about.
And at the heart of it all, these massive, intricate machines that most people don't even realize exist.
Exactly. And making sure those machines get where they need to be, that's a whole career path. Import-export managers specifically in the textile industry machinery sector,
You got it. That's what we're diving into today.
which, by the way, is way more fascinating than it might sound at first.
It really is. And it's crucial to how the whole global fashion industry functions.
Because without the right machinery in the right place at the right time, well, you don't get that shirt.
Exactly. So to break it down, import-export managers in this field, they're the ones ensuring the smooth and legal flow of this specialized machinery across international borders.
It's a lot more than just logistics, though. It's a deep understanding of international trade, regulations, tariffs.
Oh yeah, our research really highlighted how much you need to know to navigate this world.
Absolutely. And here's the kicker. It's an industry undergoing a major tech transformation. We're talking blockchain for secure transactions, AI optimizing shipping routes, even cloud computing to manage these massive global networks.
Well, hold on. Blockchain and fashion. Tell me more about how tech is changing the game here. So it's not just about knowing your way around a spreadsheet. You've really got to be on top of tech trends too.
Oh, absolutely. And it's constantly evolving, which keeps things interesting, that's for sure.
I bet. Now, I'm picturing someone in this role, they're jet-setting around the world, checking out factories, negotiating deals. Sounds glamorous, right?
There's definitely a certain appeal to that, getting to experience different cultures firsthand.
Okay, but let's be real. What's the day-to-day actually like? What kind of challenges come with this job?
Well, it's definitely fast-paced, I can tell you that.
Right.
You're juggling multiple projects, deadlines, dealing with unexpected issues. Things can change really quickly in the global supply chain.
So you need to be able to think on your feet, adapt to new situations.
Exactly, and stay calm under pressure. It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So for someone who thrives in that kind of environment, what skills are absolutely essential to make it in this field?
Well, first and foremost, a strong understanding of international trade law is crucial. You need to know the ins and outs of customs regulations, tariffs, all that fun stuff.
Right, because it's not just about physically moving the machinery. There's a whole legal side to it.
Exactly. You're navigating a complex web of rules and regulations that vary from country to country. And on top of that, you need excellent communication skills.
Makes sense. You're dealing with suppliers, clients, government officials, probably all over the world.
Exactly. And often from different cultures, so being able to communicate clearly and effectively is key.
It's like they say, communication is key. But it's not just about emails and phone calls. I imagine negotiation plays a big part too, right? Especially with these high-value machinery deals.
Oh, absolutely. Think about it. You're negotiating contracts, potentially worth millions of dollars, for these incredibly complex pieces of equipment.
That's a lot of pressure.
You need to be persuasive, a strong advocate for your company, but also able to find solutions that work for everyone involved.
So a good negotiator, a legal mind, anything else? Because I was surprised to learn you also need a decent understanding of the actual machinery itself.
Oh, absolutely. You can't just be a business whiz. You need to know the technical side of things, too. We're talking about weaving machines, dyeing equipment, spinning systems, each with its own set of regulations, challenges.
So you need to be able to speak the language, both in the boardroom and on the factory floor.
Exactly. It's about bridging that gap between the technical and the commercial, understanding how everything fits together.
So it's this fascinating blend of technical knowledge and business acumen. But let's say someone's listening to this thinking, all right, this sounds like my kind of challenge. Where do they even begin?
Well, it's interesting you should ask that because there's a pretty typical career trajectory our sources outline.
Oh, really? Like, is there a certain path you usually take?
It's not set in stone, but yeah, you'll often see people start as an import-export coordinator, entry level.
Okay, so getting their feet wet.
Exactly. Lots of paperwork, tracking shipments,
Yeah.
dealing with customs brokers. It's about learning the ropes, the day-to-day.
Getting to know all the little details before you can take on the big picture stuff.
Right. And from there, you might move up to an import-export specialist role.
So what does that look like? What kind of things are you handling at that level?
Well, now you're coordinating entire shipments, probably have more direct contact with suppliers, clients,
Hmm.
even doing some market research, that kind of thing.
Okay, so you're starting to gain more specialized knowledge, more responsibility.
Absolutely. And then comes that next step, moving into a supervisory position.
So now you're not just managing the processes, you're managing people too.
Exactly. You might be overseeing a team of coordinators and specialists, mentoring them, making sure everything runs smoothly, and you'll likely be involved in more of the strategic planning side of things.
So bridging that gap between the daily operations and the big picture strategy,
Right. And then, finally, you reach the pinnacle, import-export manager.
the big boss.
Well, sort of. You're responsible for the entire import-export operation for textile machinery within your company, at least.
Wow, that's a huge responsibility. So you've gone from, like you said, filing paperwork to basically steering the ship?
In a way, yeah. And that means you're the one setting long-term strategies, analyzing those global market trends, really thinking ahead.
That's amazing. It sounds like a career with incredible growth potential. But let's shift gears a bit and get practical. Let's say someone is really intrigued by all of this. What advice would you give them? What can they do to set themselves up for success in this field?
Well, a solid education is always a good foundation.
Hmm.
A degree in international business, supply chain management, those are great places to start.
Makes sense. You need that strong business sense.
Absolutely. And don't underestimate the value of maybe even taking some textile engineering courses. Even a basic understanding of the machinery itself can give you a real leg up.
It's about connecting those dots, understanding the industry as a whole.
Exactly. But it's not just about what you learn in a classroom. Practical experience is essential.
Internships, right?
Those are invaluable. Even if you're just making copies and fetching coffee, being immersed in that environment, seeing how things work firsthand, it's huge.
And shows you're serious, you're willing to put in the work.
Exactly. And speaking of going above and beyond, those professional certifications our sources mention, those can make a big difference.
Oh yeah, those are important in this field.
They can be. Getting certified as a customs broker, for example, or earning that certified international trade professional designation, those can really make you stand out in a competitive job market.
It shows you've taken that extra step, you've got that specialized knowledge.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. It's clear that the world of import-export, especially in a niche field like textile machinery, it's way more complex and honestly, way more interesting than I think a lot of people realize.
It really is. It's this hidden world that touches so many aspects of our lives, from the clothes we wear to the global economy.
What I find so fascinating is that it's not just about logistics. It's about understanding international law, navigating cultural differences, even having this technical knowledge of incredibly complex machines.
It's a career that requires a unique blend of skills and a willingness to constantly learn and adapt, especially with technology changing so rapidly.
Which makes me wonder, what's next for this industry? What will the future hold for import-export managers in the textile world?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? With automation, AI, who knows what challenges and opportunities are on the horizon.
It's exciting to think about. So to our listeners, we leave you with this. What mark will you make on this global stage? What unique skills and experiences can you bring to the table? Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and most importantly, keep asking questions.